Queen Elizabeth II is expected to hold her weekly meeting with Prime Minister Boris Johnson despite having recently tested positive for COVID-19. The Queen is showing her usual commitment to royal duties this week despite Buckingham Palace announcing she is battling a mild bout of COVID. The sovereign made clear in the statement opening up on her diagnosis she intends to continue carrying out light duties while self-isolating at Windsor Castle. Among the royal work she is expected to complete this week, there is her weekly audience with Mr. Johnson. The Queen and her Prime Ministers have historically met once a week at Buckingham Palace. In the wake of the beginning of the COVID pandemic, the royal audience remained in place but started to be performed over the phone. The Queen and Mr. Johnson met at Buckingham Palace to hold an in-person audience in June last year, but most of their meetings over the past 2 years have been held remotely. Among the topics the Queen will discuss with Mr. Johnson there will likely be his intention to bring an end to the legal duty to self-isolate after catching COVID-19. While Mr. Johnson is expected to announce within hours his living with COVID plans and scrap all remaining legal restrictions introduced at the beginning of the pandemic, he is expected to stress the responsibility to self-isolate when needed will fall on individuals, as has been the case over the past months for mask wearing and testing. Among the other duties the Queen is believed to be undertaking this week as she battles COVID-19 there are virtual audiences with foreign dignitaries. She is also expected to be dealing with the government's red boxes, which she receives on a daily basis and contain policy papers, Foreign Office telegrams, letters and other state papers from government ministers and Commonwealth representatives that have to be read and, where necessary, approved and signed. Buckingham Palace announced on Sunday Her Majesty is experiencing mild cold-like symptoms and will continue to carry out light duties from her home in Berkshire over the coming weeks. It added, she will continue to receive medical attention and will follow all the appropriate guidelines. It is understood a number of people have tested positive at Windsor Castle. The Queen's keenness to continue to work despite her positive COVID test became apparent just hours after Buckingham Palace's statement. On Sunday afternoon, the monarch signed off a message dedicated to the curling teams which swiped 2 medals on the last days of the Winter Olympics. Her statement read, "I send my warmest congratulations to the Team GB women's curling team on your outstanding performance in winning the gold medal at the Beijing 2022 Olympic Winter Games, following the silver medal achieved by the men's curling team yesterday. I know that your local communities and people throughout the United Kingdom will join me in sending our good wishes to you, your coaches and the friends and family who have supported you in your great success." The Queen is the latest member of the British royal family to have caught COVID. In March 2020, Prince Charles tested positive and self-isolated at his Scottish home in Berkeley for 7 days. 1 month later, his firstborn Prince William also caught COVID, but his diagnosis remained a secret until later that same year, when the Duke of Cambridge spoke about his experience with the virus during a royal engagement. In July last year, while the Wimbledon tournament was undergoing, Kate, Duchess of Cambridge, had to self-isolate for 10 days after getting in touch with a positive contact. However, she did not test positive for the virus. Almost 2 years after his first positive COVID test, Prince Charles caught COVID again earlier this month. A few days later, Clarence House revealed the prince's wife Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, also tested positive for the virus. The Prince of Wales has since ended his quarantine period and last week he carried out a joint engagement at St James's Palace with Princess Anne.